Well, I'm a big lover of the young, and in my musical career, I sponsor 8 young musicians a year to go to the Royal Academy. And because we have a sports management company, my management company now, we thought it would be a good idea to set up a similar foundation to help young sportsmen to get a grant every year to help them from the ages of like 12 to 18. And so hopefully we'll raise $500,000 tonight, and that'll all go to the fund. And so for the next 8 years, it means that 20 kids can get a £2,000 grant that normally couldn't get any money. And it's just a way of supplementing their incomes and giving them some hope for the future. And, you know, I'm a big lover of youth. I love young musicians and young athletes. And I just wanted to do something to help aspiring athletes that maybe run into a cul-de-sac, you know, and couldn't get any funding.
And that's all important at those early stages. How are you going to choose those that get the grants, that get the funding?
I think that would be a decision made by our company and the people who are associated on the foundation board. It'll only be Olympic sports. It won't be any, it'll be the whole gamut of Olympic sports. Not golf and not football, but all the other sports. Cycling, equestrianism, swimming, judo, boxing, wrestling. Although if judo's still in there, I think it was taken out the last Olympics, or wrestling.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, we represent a lot of young athletes. Laura Trott and Jason Kenny, who are both Olympic medal winners. Geraint Thomas, who got chosen for the Tour de France this week for the 5th time. Richard Kilty, the world indoor 60-metre champion. Bob Jungels, a young Luxembourg cyclist. Adam Yates, an amazing cyclist. And Ben Swift, another amazing cyclist. So, we've got a lot of talent on our hands already, and we're looking to explore other sports other than cycling and other than athletics. But I like to concentrate on the Olympic sports and the sports that don't get the funding and the athletes that don't get the help. That, every footballer has an agent, so, it's not really worth, doing that. It's the other sports that need help and encouragement and to earn money outside of what they do.
Tell me about then, flowing from the Olympics, concentrating on Olympic sports here, 2012, I mean, we all remember just what a great summer of sport that was.
It was so inspiring for everybody. It was great for the country, great. I mean, that one evening when there were 3 track goals, for example, and I got so into the cycling at the velodrome and on the road, and I think Bradley Wiggins, did so much by winning the Tour de France and got us all so much interested in the cycling. And it was an amazing, amazing feeling in this country. And it was an example of what we can do if we're encouraged and can reach our goals and we can match the best. But we have to encourage people at a young age and give them some hope. And I'm just trying to do this because, you know what, music and sport are great common denominators. Most sportsmen want to be musicians, and most musicians want to be sportsmen. I come from a footballing family. My cousin played football for Nottingham Forest, Roy Dwight, scored the first goal in the 1957 Cup final against Luton. And so I've always been involved in sport, and I've always loved sport. So to be able to help these young kids, football and sport bring people together.
Yeah, they do.
And it's a great thing. And I've always loved sports. So here I'm at 67 years of age, started in this foundation to help people. My son, he won't need a grant because I'll be able to afford to play it. But it's the future of my son's generation and the generation after him and the ones that are coming through to 10 or 11 years old.
Can you see him getting interested in sport? Is he kicking a ball around already?
He loves sport. He loves it. He plays tennis. He's playing tennis. He loves to kick a ball around. They both do. I just hope that they become sportsmen because it's a great way of meeting people.
Not go into music? You wouldn't recommend that?
No, but playing sport is such a great social thing. If you play sport, and it's great to have a game of soccer or a game of tennis or a game of rugby or whatever. It breeds a social thing where you're there with your mates or you make new friends. And you travel and you play other people and you make new friends. So it's a wonderful, wonderful social thing to do as well as a sporting athletic thing to do.
Tell me about then, with this passion, you're demonstrating it here and the way you're joining up the two activities, sport and music. Do you approach a concert like tonight in a slightly different way? Does it mean more to you?
Well, you've got to do... No, every concert is different. I approach it as if it's my last concert.
It's a little bit funny. This feeling inside.
I always try and go out there and give it the best. I'm very lucky to have a whole catalogue of songs that I can choose from, and I still love it singing those songs because they're very good songs. So I don't get bored with what I do. Each concert is a test, and You know, the last week of this time we were playing in Lee to 18,000 people at the Rugby League Club, and now we're playing to 5,000 people in a very sedate setting in Stoke Park. And on Thursday night I was playing at my house in a gallery of 100 people raising money for AIDS. And so 3 different shows in a week, and you've all got to pull them off. And if I can't do that off now, by the time I've been doing it for 47 years, I should be able to do it.
I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you.
I've got to ask you this question, as well as another festival taking place this very evening and over this weekend, with a few more thousand people involved, a couple of hours west of where we are now. Talking about Glastonbury, are we ever going to see Sir Elton there?
I don't know. I've never really been asked. So I played Festival last year. Glastonbury is, you know, the creme de la creme of festival. It's, you know, if you look at all the main acts that are on the stage, and they're great, all the headline acts, and then you go to the other stages, and you see every important young musician that's coming up. Every important young musician that's great. And I think that's a huge credit to Glastonbury. I mean, just look at the smaller stages and you see everybody you want to see in music practically. So, you know, it's any time people come together to celebrate music in a joyous atmosphere, it can't be bad. Come on.
Tell me a little bit about, you mentioned there, we all know about the huge amount of work you've done, in particular for AIDS charities, and the huge amount of money you've raised. You wrote an article in The Independent today, along with Norman Fowler, former Secretary of State for Health, of course. You talked there very passionately and very interestingly about, yes, the vast strides we've made in this country when it comes to gay rights, to understanding, to civil partnerships, to equal marriage and things like that. But you made the point that there's still a lot of work to be done in the UK, and in actual fact, things have got worse for a lot of gay and transgender people in many, many other countries around the world.
Oh, yeah. Globally, you know, we seem to have gone backwards over the last 18 months in certain areas. And it's a cause. I mentioned this on stage on Thursday night, and I said, you know, as long as I'm alive till I'm, you know, I will fight for people's rights. Anybody whose human rights are wronged or taken away from them, I will try and fight them. I will try and go to Russia. I'm going to Russia in November, and I will try and meet Putin, and I will try and talk to him. I don't know what good it'll do, but unless you build a bridge, it's no good putting up a wall and saying, I'm not talking to these people. The only thing that gets solved is by talking to people. And if I have the talent or any talent of trying to help in that situation, then I'm trying and do it. I mean, I may not achieve anything, but I have to try. And there's so many people out there who are living a life of hell, and I'm living a life of, you know, luxury, and I have my human rights intact. And I won't forget, as an AIDS organisation, we support the marginalised as well. You know, the very, very poor people that are getting left behind, the drug users, the people in prison. You know, if we leave people behind in society, then society is going to crumble. We have to, on this journey of AIDS and human rights, we have to try and take everyone with us. And I deeply believe that. And many people might disagree with me, but I'm certainly, you know, if anyone doesn't have their basic civil rights, I get crazy.
One of the other points you make in the article, when it comes to what more needs to be done in the United Kingdom, is that you feel that the Church of England's attitude is, well, let's be diplomatic about it, is not really very helpful at the moment.
No, but there are signs of hope. And I think the new Archbishop of Canterbury is doing a good job so far. The new Pope has done wonderful. I mean, he's excited me so much by his humanity and taking everything down to the humility of faith, no matter what it is, what faith you have, what religion you have, who you believe in, what you believe in. He stripped it down to the bare bones and said it's all basically about love and taking everybody in inclusiveness. And that has to be encouraged by the Church of England as well. We have a long way to go, but we have made great strides. Let's not, 30 years ago, I couldn't have imagined this would have happened in my country. So I'm very grateful for that.
But do you ever think the church, do you think it should allow its clergy, same-sex clergy, to get married?
Of course. And I don't see why Catholic priests have to be celibate. It's crazy. These are old and stupid things. And the church hierarchy might be, up in arms about it, the traditionalists. But times have changed. We live in a different time. If Jesus Christ was alive today, I cannot see him as the Christian person that he was and the great person that he was saying this could not happen. He was all about love and compassion and forgiveness and trying to bring people together. And that is what the church should be about.
And lastly, when are we going to see you and David getting married?
Well, we can't get married this year because we had a civil partnership. And I think the government kind of messed that one up, and I don't think we can get married till next year. However, when we do it, it'll be very quiet and it'll be very off the cuff. We had our big shebang when we had our civil union. So, but we will, and I think it's a great opportunity to take advantage of the new laws and to celebrate it. We're very lucky in this country to be able to have that advantage and have that position to be in, of being able to marry your partner. It's a huge way. We've come a long, long way. And for that, the church deserves credit too.
That's your song. Thank you.